Speaking of our Montreal Canadiens players, the quarterfinals at the Worlds is beginning on Thursday, May 22nd. How about this to start it off? Canada versus Slovakia. Kaiden Guhle versus Juraj Slafkovsky. That's going to be great.
Yeah.
That's going to be
Kaiden Guhle has been playing out of his all of them have been playing fantastic hockey. Like you said before, Slafkovsky's been carrying Slovakia on his back. I find he's been one of their top leaders and point getters and everything all around. He's been really driving the play.
Yep.
I say point getters too. Don't look strictly speaking at points, but also what's he generating on the ice? How many players is he dragging towards him to open up space and make plays and this and that and the other? So there's that. Kaiden Guhle has been a monster on defense for Canada. I don't know if he just likes playing with that jersey, but he's been playing outstanding, and he's been playing mean hockey. My God, he's been playing like a mean machine out there. Like seriously, everything that he said he was going to be working on doing, he's doing.
So far, all of our guys were named player of the game. Juraj Slafkovsky, named player of the game. Kaiden Guhle, named player of the game. Cole Caufield, earlier today on Tuesday, named player of the game with 2 goals and 2 assists for 4 points.
He got robbed today. He got robbed today. He should.
I thought he won.
He won the player of the game in the previous game, and today he had 2 goals and 2 assists.
You're right. Yes,
and who was it? Who was it who had 1 goal, 1 assist, ended up getting player of the game? It was some bullshit. They're trying to space it out amongst all the team members. Bullshit.
Okay, what about this guy? What about Oliver Kapanen?
Fuck you.
What about Oliver Kapanen? 6 goals in 6 games. Yeah, 1 game was a hat trick, but still, he was leading the tournament in goals at one point.
Yeah.
I really think the Canadiens are going to sign Oliver Kapanen after this tournament. At least I hope.
I think that's a fair. Guess. I would argue, and if you guys remember, or for those who are listening, I think we made it public, but who are our top 10 players? Who are our top 10 prospects? Kapanen has been on that list all along. He is one of the most unknown, yet performant prospects that we have. Obviously, I'd still say he's probably going to be our bottom 5 to 10 prospects on that top 10 list. But holy shit, yeah. What a player he's turning out to be.
I could see the 3rd line, 4th line roles being shared between Owen Beck and Oliver Kapanen one day.
Absolutely.
A lot's going to depend. A lot's going to depend on what happens with Jake Evans. That we're going to see. But I think Oliver Kapanen is knocking on that door, especially for Jake Evans. I could see him on a 4th line role. I think maybe because for now I see Beck having a bit more of a scoring touch than Kapanen. So maybe that's why I'm putting him on the 3rd line. But back to the centerman real quick. One of our viewers commented that if Caden Lidstrom gets drafted by the Canadiens, they hope he plays center. And if he's on a line with Kirby Dach, put Kirby Dach on the wing with Lidstrom.
Yeah.
That would be great, in my opinion.
Well, I like the idea. I always like the idea of having interchangeable center and wingers.
Yep.
One guy's having a bad night in the face-off circle, whatever it is. Lidstrom is a left-handed forward, Kirby Dach right-handed. Who has the advantage for the face-offs? Honestly, go for it. I would love to see that line.
Oh my God, I hope this happens. But there's rumors too I saw on Twitter that if Lidstrom is going above pick number 5, the Canadiens might try to trade upwards. It's going to be tough, but again, I know we said this last week, but I still think the Canadiens are in a good spot to pick a forward. Like, I don't think Demidov is going to be available, and if Lidstrom gets picked, I still think they go after TJ Ginla, but I think the Canadiens have their eyes set on Kaiden Lidstrom, and I think a lot of analysts think that as well.
I think that's a fair assumption, and I don't want to say that everything has fallen into place perfectly, but I think a lot of the teams, there are 4 teams above us. The first pick is clear cut.
Yeah.
I think Demidov is a clear cut team for whoever has. So in reality, there are only 2 other teams that risk that are going to be drafting ahead of us, and I think out of those 3 teams, after evidently after
Anaheim and Columbus.
Yeah. Well, just say
Anaheim.
between those teams, they need a defenseman. Those teams need a defenseman. So I'm just saying there's a higher probability that Lindstrom is still available.
I just want to end this podcast or this episode, excuse me, on one thing, but Juraj Slafkovsky in this tournament is a fucking rock star, man. He's unreal. Did you see on Twitter the video of, this was a couple of nights ago or a couple of games ago, but there's a lineup of people walking towards the arena in Slovakia jerseys. If you look at all the names behind those jerseys were Juraj Slafkovsky.
I want to say he made a comment at the end of the year when he was doing the exit interview, and he said,
I know exactly
it's
which
crazy.
comment.
It's crazier in Slovakia, and I was just like,
he goes,
yeah, I don't particularly like that comment, and I was just like,
no, dude,
is he? And then you see that, and you're just like, okay, that's fair. That's a fair statement.
So the comment was, and again, he goes, if you guys think the pressure is a lot on me in Montreal, you should see what it's like back in Slovakia. Like, again, I'm going to repeat this over again. That's why they picked him, because he could handle that at the age of 20. Yeah. He can carry an entire nation on his shoulders and not crumble. I don't care if Juraj Slafkovsky has 0 goals in this tournament. The fact that he's one of their best players at the age of 20, Thomas Tatar is the captain, and Juraj Slafkovsky is the one that's relied upon as one of the top 3 forwards at that age, and is able to, and is making plays that are unreal. Like, he's controlling the pace of the game many times. Like, that's why they picked him. They picked him for that reason. I'm going to say this, Chris, and anybody else listening. This tournament is going to be fantastic for Juraj Slafkovsky's development. This tournament is going to be fantastic for Cole Caufield's development. Even if Caufield is surrounded by guys who are, let's go with quote unquote, better than him. Okay? Let's say Brady Tkachuk, Boldy, Johnny Gaudreau. Okay? I don't think Shane Pinto is better than him, but let's just say they're a well-surrounded team. Okay? This tournament is going to be excellent for Kaiden Guhle. Okay? And now that we're witnessing what Oliver Kapanen is doing in Finland, another strong team, always strong country. This is why those 3 went. Last year, they had season-ending injuries, well, especially Cole and Juraj Slafkovsky. Guhle was out for quite a bit with an injury. I was worried that the concussion at the end of this season might have, concussions, you never know, right? They fucking sneak up behind you and they could screw you up anytime. Kaiden Guhle's looked like he hasn't skipped a beat or lost a beat or missed a beat. I really think we're underestimating how important this tournament is in terms of development, and where the 3 guys, three kids on the Canadiens that are part of the core, this is huge for them. And the further they go, the better it'll be for them. And let's be honest, listen, it's unfortunate that Canada is playing Slovakia in the quarterfinals. One of them has to win. One of them is going to have to move on. Obviously, as Canadians, we're rooting for Canada. But don't get me wrong. If Juraj Slafkovsky beats Team Canada, I'm going to be rooting for them. I really think so. I love Cole Caufield in the US. Sweden and Finland, I have a soft spot for those two countries. They have amazing players. Sweden, when you see Hedman and Erik Karlsson paired up together, I fucking love that. On the overall, this is amazing. It's Canadians fans should not take this with a grain of salt. Take this seriously. This is amazing for these young guys on the Canadians and their development.
I want to argue that this tournament is more important for a guy like Slafkovsky, and the reason why. Like Kaiden Guhle, Team Canada, I think Team Canada, Team USA, Russia. I know Russia's not playing, but those are the teams that are expected to win year after year after year after
Mhm.
year. And that being said, if like Slovakia winning anything is a huge upset
Yeah,
usually. So, like you said, it's a great experience for all of these young players. But I think the one that has to stand that stands to gain the most again will be Juraj Slafkovsky,
awesome.
and it'll. That's why I'll be honest. Like there's people are going to say trade it to your country, but seriously, they're for Montreal Canadiens fans. There's a reason. There's reason to want Slovakia to beat Canada at this point in time.
Yeah.
As long as Kaiden Guhle's not on the ice when Slafkovsky's potting all the goals,
Once Slav
go
scores,
for it.
or oh my god, yeah. Hopefully, just one last thing I want to say about Team Canada. I love watching Dylan Cousins play the way he is. Kid's a fucking beast, and Buffalo Sabres fans should be excited. If this kid stays healthy, this is another major step in his development. So